Welcome to the Shikama Live Show with your host, Shikama. So, I want to talk about Janet Hubert, Aunt Viv, calling out Jada Pinkett Smith, who made a plea for black actors to boycott the Oscars. And now, of course, I want you to not look at these two women. I want you to pay attention to their audience. You will judge a tree by its fruit. You don't have to be religious to actually pick out stuff from the Bible to use for your own argument, right? That includes atheists too, right? The book is the book. The book is there. It's a reality. It's physically here, and we can use it. We can use any tool at our disposal. So here, I think the wisdom is you will judge a tree by its fruit. Now, let's look at the audience of Jada Pinkett Smith. Her audience is screaming, yes, it's time we stood for ourselves. It's time we got our own production. It's time we got our own, captured our own entertainment and did our own entertainment, have our own voice. The audience of Janet Hubert is talking about, yeah, girl, get her, girl, yeah, girl, get her, girl, and that's it. Now, I'm not even getting into what the two women said. Let's judge the tree by the fruit. If you walked into an auditorium and the people were talking about, yeah, girl, messy, messy. Oh, I'm hollering. Oh, you really got her. And then you walked into the other audience and the audience was saying, yes, we must come together. Yes, we must do our own thing. We must have our own voice without even hearing the speech. Which audience would you go to? Now, which audience do you think I would sit in? I'm not even analyzing their speech. Which audience do you think I would sit in? And which audience do you think I would recommend that you sit in? Now, Janet Hubert led off with, it's Martin Luther King Day, so I wanted to say this. Okay, what is she trying to say? She's trying to say that whole, I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream that black people and white people can hold hands. You know, that's all well and good when black people and white people are equal. Black people and white people are not equal. You have to be an adult. You have to come to terms with the reality of the world that you're in. Not the fantasy of the world that you want to be in, the reality of the world that you're in. I would love to hold hand and run through fields and smell the daffodils with white people. I would love to. And in some instances, I have. All my life, since I was the only black kid in town, in the city, in the nation, in some places, in some countries, I had no choice but to run through the fields holding hands with white people. No option. And of course, they felt very comfortable that the only black kid in town, who was just as rich as them, just as smart as them, had the same amount of servants, was there. And I'm not saying they said, oh, that's a good Negro. I was on equal footing. There's nothing that anybody could have said other than, that is the son of a diplomat too. I'm a diplomat. His parents are diplomats. Of course there is no racism because there's no need, because there is no difference. Come back to America and I can't rent out an apartment. I can't rent a house. I can't get a business loan. And yes, I've had people say, we don't rent to your kind. So don't give me this crap about, oh, that wasn't racism. Oh, yes, it was. They came right out and said it. And when I tried to procure a lawyer, because I didn't record the guy saying that, he said, you know, it's very hard to prove racism in the United States. Almost impossible. So let's get to this. Janet Hubert says, on MLK Day, I want to say this. Well, I just did a video talking about MLK. And talking about MLK at the very end of his life saying, what? I fear I've led my people into a burning house. I regret that I preached desegregation. I regret that I preached desegregation. So the Janet Huberts of the world still are playing by the old book. Now she's 60 years old. I don't get it. How are you 60 years old and not wiser than somebody half your age? Now she said Jada Smith is only saying this because her husband didn't win an Oscar, isn't going to win an Oscar. Okay, well, that might be true, but everything she said was true too. She might do it for selfish reasons. Sometimes poison cures you. Huh? You hear what I just said? So what happens when a snake bites you? What do they want you to do? They want you to bring in the snake that bit you to cure the poison. So if we consider Jada Smith being totally selfish, she did say exactly the same thing that Pan-Africanists are saying the world over. We need our own. We don't live in the pre-wisdom era of Martin Luther King, MLK, where he said, let's run through the fields with white people. We live in the post-wisdom MLK days, where he said, oh my God, desegregation was a bad idea. I'm sorry I did it, and now I'm dead. How are you 60 years old and not realize this? How are you 60 years old and saying, y'all gonna make Massa mad? That's exactly how she said it. How dare you, Jada Pinkett Smith, try and disturb the peace, cause these people to lose their career? We don't need a white career in Hollywood. We don't need it. That's what I've been trying to scream at you. $1 trillion? $1 trillion. Come on, Janet. What the hell are you talking about? Distribution. We can have our own distribution, our own production. We've got directors, we've got producers, and all of these rappers and football players, basketball players, baseball players, all these athletes, singers, dancers, entertainers, Negroes who do stuff with balls. And I'm not talking about porno, who make millions of dollars destroying the black community because some white person put their face in front of the music that they wrote. We don't need Hollywood. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's what Jada said. We don't need Hollywood. You can't be a Sambo. How can you be a 60-year-old Sambo? I don't get it. What don't you get? You gonna make them upset. They gonna lose their careers. Do you know that rap was started by black people doing their own thing? And then the industry beat a path to their door to say, hey. And then they took over. But the thing is, they beat a path to the door. That's my point there. It's now crap. It's no longer talking about some sort of consciousness of the black community. And anybody who does talk about that is on the outs, has to independently produce their own label, but we did our own thing. We don't need Hollywood. I would actually be happy if no Negro ever appeared in Hollywood. Let's have white people paint themselves black and be the black person in the movie. I would prefer that so that you could see how stupid the black roles are in Hollywood. Maybe then you Negroes shucking and jiving on screen, making millions of dollars, acting like straight up hood rats. And that's the only role that you can, I mean, come on. Maid, pimp, and prostitutes. Now we say, oh, we've gotten over. Now we're maid, pimps, and prostitutes. Now we have the happy Negro. Now we have the magical Negro. And then you have the nerve to say there are more serious things in life. What do I expect from Jada Pinkett Smith? She's an actress. I don't expect her to talk about the oil and gas industry, the Middle East conflicts. I wouldn't listen to her. But if she talks about something about acting, Hollywood, movies, I'm going to listen to her, right? Because that's her area. That's her lane. She's staying in her lane. What lane are you talking about? Sorry, Janet Hubert, I don't agree with you at all. I'm sorry. I don't think you're conscious. I don't think you know what time it is. I can't believe that you're 60 years old and trying to say that, oh, you're going to get those people's career messed up. We need the white man. The white man is all that there ever will be. Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show.